I feel like I need to cosplay more, you guys, because look at how cute this is. I feel like I'm living out my childhood dreams. Although I didn't grow up with Street Fighter, we cannot ignore how iconic Chun-Li is. You know the name, you know the character, you know the fit, and this is literally everything. So if you couldn't tell from my outfit and from the title of the video, today we are going to be reviewing Game Beauty's collab with Street Fighter 6 to celebrate the new game releasing. And with that, I would like to thank Game Beauty for sponsoring today's video. I love working with Game Beauty. I think this is my second time, but they are always so supportive of me, my channel, my content. But I've known about Game Beauty since pretty much their beginning, and to see their first ever eyeshadow palettes, to see what they are doing collabing with Street Fighter, their previous collab was with Attack on Titan, just to see their growth and how far they've come from even their formulas, I feel so proud and I'm just so happy for them. And if there is one brand you want to trust with your childhood game or anime, it would be Game Beauty. Like I mentioned, I personally didn't grow up with Street Fighter. I went down a YouTube rabbit hole trying to learn a little bit more. Obviously, I couldn't learn it in 2 hours because there's decades and decades of history behind Street Fighter. Learning a little bit and then playing with the makeup, I was like, oh, this color represents this character. Like, everything makes so much sense. That is just like a little glimpse into Game Beauty, and I'm just honestly so happy for them. And with that being said, let's dive into the products because we do have a lot to get through. Let me first break down the collection for you, starting off with the eyeshadow palette. This is their Prismatic Pugilist makeup palette. It's an 18 pan palette that goes for 65 USD. It has a mix of eyeshadow and pressed pigments, and all of the color names are titles of each character's theme music. And then we have 6 of their chromatic contender Charmeleon single shadows. These are $15 US each, or you can get the bundle of 6 for $76. And then next up we have 4 blush sticks and 2 highlighter sticks. These are $15 US each, or you can get the bundle of 6 for $76 again. And then lastly in the collection, there are 6 of their Vibrant Victor lipsticks. These are also $15 US each, or you can get the bundle of 6 for $76. So there's a lot of bundles that you can choose from. But if you did want to purchase the full collection, it goes for $256. And there are 2 options for this. So one option, you can get it in the gift box, which is what I have behind me. However, if you get it like this, you won't get it in the single component packaging, so you would have to choose the other option, which is still the same price, but you just don't get it in the box, but it will come individually in its own packaging, if that makes sense. That is also really cute too because it has the characters on the cover. But those are the options, and if you wanted to use my code JUDY at checkout, that will give you a little bit of savings there. I will also even link my Chun-Li cosplay down below. Everything is just from AliExpress, but if you wanted to cosplay too, I will link it down below. That being said, let's dive into the products. I always like to start off with the eyeshadow palette first because this is definitely like the star of the show. And as you can see, there really isn't like a strong color story. It's not very monochromatic, which if you guys know me, that's how I like to work. So this, looking at the color story, really does like challenge me a little bit, but I think it's so beautiful, you guys. Like I was saying before, seeing how their eyeshadow formula in the beginning from their first ever palette to what this is now, there's a big difference. They have improved so much. These are highly pigmented, just so easy to work with. This palette definitely is much more matte focused. There are only 5 shimmers in here, but we do have those single shadows that we will get into. But I love that ratio of mattes to shimmers because I feel like mattes really just bring a look together. This is really off topic, but I have a lot of XG looks. XG is a girl group and their makeup is so fun and so vibrant and colorful. There are so many looks of theirs that I want to recreate, and I know this palette is going to be my go-to palette for that because it just has everything. Like, yes, there is no like specific color story, but you have literally everything. I feel like for me, if anything, what I would like to add would be like a white, a black, and like a light brown transition shadow. And I feel like this would be like the perfect all-rounder palette. But obviously this is a themed collection, so every shade has its purpose. It's inspired by a character, so it totally makes sense. But I did create 3 looks inspired by 3 characters from Street Fighter 6, and of course I had to choose the girls. So let me know your favorite down below. Hopefully I did the characters justice. Voiceover Judy here. As you saw those 2 looks, the first one was inspired by JUDY and this one is by Kimberly. I did try my best to use as many shadows as I could with the palette, but since these were heavily inspired by the characters, I wasn't able to use as many shadows as I would have liked. So again, I'm going to be doing more looks with this palette, so I will be uploading those to my shorts, so keep an eye out for that if you guys want more inspo with the palette. I mean, it's so beautiful. You can see how pigmented these apply on, and I really did have so much fun creating these 3 looks. So again, let me know your favorite in the comments below. And then next up we have their single chameleon chromatic shadows. These are duochrome shadows, so not multi-chrome, but they do have a good duochrome flip to them, and these are very, very pretty. Some of them actually flip like a bit stronger than others, but these are very soft, very pigmented. If I wanted to compare it to some like C Beauty duochrome, I feel like C Beauty definitely has a lot more glitter in them, whereas these just go on a lot more metallic, and they just look so ethereal, and the flip is so pretty. So the first shade is called Jamie, and this flips from like a coral orange red to a lime green. It really just depends on how you are flipping it, but a lot of dimension there. And then next up we have Luke. This is a like cobalt blue shifting to a violet purple. This one kind of matches like my Chun-Li cosplay outfit. Then for number 3, Guile, this starts off like a mid-tone sky blue that shifts to a purple again. Number 4 is Blanca, and this is like a lime green that kind of shifts to like almost a gold. I also see like a bit of blue as well, like a cobalt blue. Number 5 is Dalsum. This one kind of starts off like an antique bronze gold that kind of flips a little bit green as well. I will say for this one, it doesn't flip as strong as the others, but there is a lot of dimension in here. And then lastly, number 6, DJ. This one is more of like a dirty bronze with like a greenish undertone, and then the flip comes off a little bit more like a lime green. So if we compare it to number 4, Blanca, Blanca's more like a true green, where this is like a bronzy type of green. And then we come onto the blush sticks. There are 4 in total, and if you guys know me and my preference in formula, I typically don't love cream products, and the reason for that is 1, just like I do love powder more. I have oily skin, but 2, in past experiences with a lot of cream blushes always come off very patchy on my skin, whether I use a brush, my fingers, a sponge. Like, it's just so hard to work on my skin for some reason. I was a little bit worried getting into these, but I will say for a person that doesn't love blush sticks, these are really good, and let me tell you why. First off, the pigment is there, so it's almost hard for it to be like patchy, you know what I mean? Like, the pigment just goes on where you tap it in. I personally like going in with a brush because these are so vibrant, the colors intense. I will say for my personal preference, they are a little bit too bright and a bit too dark for what I like. I like something a little bit more like lighter pink, but I still can appreciate it, the formula and the colors, and I can see this looking so beautiful on someone that has a deeper complexion than me. I think if you're anything lighter than me, go in with a very light hand because they are very pigmented, and the colors itself, like the shades, are very bright. So these are very easy to work with, and what I also love about this is that I can use this on top of powder. And I feel like with a lot of cream products, obviously you just can't use it on top of powder. It's probably gonna move the foundation underneath, but I will show you, like with my look today, I did apply it when I didn't set my face, and then I set it down, and the blush definitely tones down a lot. These are still very wearable because once you set it down with powder, it does tone down a lot, but I went in with a little bit on my brush on top of the powder. It goes on very smooth, not patchy at all. It did not disrupt the powder underneath, which is so amazing. amazing, and I feel like that shows how good this formula is, honestly. And for like $15, you get so much product in here as well. Like this blush stick will last you forever. And then along with the blush sticks, we have the highlighter sticks, and this is where Chun-Li's personal product comes in. So she has her own highlighter stick, and I am of course wearing this with my look. I'm actually wearing it on my eyes, so if you do see some creases on my eyes, it is just because I put like a cream product on my lid and I have a lot of folds. Creases are bound to happen, but if you're just going to use it like a highlighter, these are very, very pretty. I feel like this kind of matches my day-to-day makeup style the most, like these two products. So for the highlighter stick in Chun-Li, her one's like a pretty periwinkle light blue, and it has like a really nice like silver reflect to it, so it looks like it's just like glistening on your skin. And then with Manon, this would be really pretty as like a blush topper even. It's like a mid-tone fuchsia pink type of color. Very, very pretty as well. It has that beautiful reflect that I love, but it's like quite subtle, you know, like it's more like a metallic reflect, which I do like, and I think these two are very, very pretty. And then onto the final products, we have the lipsticks. So there are 6 shades in total, again inspired by a character each. These are more of like a traditional bullet lipstick. I feel like there's not much to review for this. It goes on a satin matte, very pigmented, quite creamy, very easy to work with. I like to blend these out with a brush to sort of blot them out a little bit. And all of the colors again are very pigmented, very bright from what I typically wear. Taking a brush, you can blot it down. You could even pair it with like a nude lipstick and dab like a red in the center and have that gradient look. These would be perfect for it because the pigment is so strong. Overall, these are the 6 colors. I feel like they do match pretty well to their characters. And with that being said, you guys, that is pretty much the entire Street Fighter 6 collection with Game Beauty. I would love to know what you guys think down below, especially for those of you that grew up with the game, you play it religiously. I would love to know what you think of everything, just because like from my point of view, I feel like they did a good job. Again, a big thank you to Game Beauty for sponsoring today's video, for trusting me to review this collection for you guys. It really sparked something in me again to play with more color, because I think for a long time I wasn't playing with a lot of color, and now I'm like wanting to create so many looks, especially with the eyeshadow palette. I think overall, no matter what you choose from the collection, it will be really good. So that is it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching as always. I love you so much, and I'll go ahead and see you in my next one. Bye!